Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be discussing about Cellecor gadgets. So it's a new company, it's a newly listed company. नया नया IPO आ गया है. So we will go ahead and see like ये business क्या करता है, क्या बेचता है, और उसका financials कैसा है, और आगे का outlook कैसा है. This is something we will see आज, ठीक है? So now let's deep dive into the company. So like I mentioned, we're going to be discussing about Cellecor gadgets, ठीक है? So what does this company do, right? What is the business model? If you look at Cellecor gadgets, the company manufactures, doesn't manufacture. The company sells various electronics. अगर आप देखते हो, like television हो गया, mobile phone हो गया, smartwatch, under their own brand called Cellecor. ठीक है? अगर आप Flipkart में जाओ या Amazon में जाओ, you just search for this brand called Cellecor, CELLECOR, and you will find there different क्या बोलते हैं, different SKUs and different kind of models, etc. ठीक है? So अगर आप देखते हो, इसका जो founder है, the company was founded by this person called Ravi Agarwal. He is a person who worked in this whole electronics and communication, for a very long time, has a great experience of 15 years, and he started this brand. Okay, I wouldn't deep dive there into the depth, but this is and even if you look at the company also, it has been started recently. Okay, like probably 2 years ka pehle, 2 to 3 years ka pehle start hua tha, and probably just into 2 years of operation, they have launched an IPO. Okay, it's not something a well-known, a well-reputed brand in the electronic space, like how you have, of course, the good old brands such as Samsung, or even the Indian brands that you have, or Chinese brands that you have. It has just been recently started. Okay, so now let's just go into the products and see. If you look at their entire product portfolio, there are three things. Okay, one is entertainment and communications. Is entertainment and communications में क्या sell करते हैं? They have smart TVs and sound system and mobile phones. ठीक है, और इसमें different SKUs है at different price points. If you look at TVs can go up to 35 to 40,000. It starts at around 10,000 also. If you look at sound systems, जो है same thing. Mobile phones जो है, which is a huge part of their portfolio. I think around 43% of their portfolio comes from mobile phones. अगर आप ये mobile phones देखते हो, it is not these high brands like they're trying to compete with Xiaomi या like OnePlus or any of those kinds. But when you talk about your mobile phones, how do I put this? It starts from an SKU of 700. Have you seen this old Nokia phones? The ones that don't break at all. You probably hit it like 100 times to the wall, it doesn't break. That chota phone, it's exactly like those kind of phones, and of course, it ranges. What I'll do is all the product pictures that are there. I can't share my screen right now because I haven't prepared a PPT. I'm just talking to you with a flow because I've studied about this company. But what I'll do is, मेरा Twitter का ये, when I'm uploading this video, I'll just put the pictures of all these under the other tweet. I'll put all the pictures of this product portfolio, so you get an idea कि like कौन से gadgets these people sell. ठीक है? Now coming to their second product portfolio, अगर आप देखते हो, they sell this wireless devices such as आपने देखो हो neck bands हो गया हो या earbuds या smart watches and all of these. ठीक है? यहाँ पर भी they have around 145 SKUs. The next thing you will see is modern accessories. When you talk about modern accessories, आपका वो USB का cable हो सकता है या these quick chargers and what do you call that thing, that portable chargers that are there, data cables. All of this are the other segment of the portion. So basically three things that they sell. One portion is all your mobile phones and TV and sound system. The second portion is all your accessories that goes into the mobile, such as wireless accessories such as neck bands, earbuds, smartwatches, and the third is modern accessories. Okay. Now let us look at into the breakup of their revenue. Okay. Agar आप the breakup of revenue, if you look as of H1 FY24, that is combined of Q1 and Q2, अगर आप देखते हो, उनका mobile phone that is there, it is the highest. Mobile phone contributes around 43% of the total revenue. Okay? Then we have accessories. When I talk about accessories, what accessories are such as that your power banks, data cables, USBs, quick chargers, adapters. Okay? These are called as accessories, and they contribute around 18% to the total revenue. Then you have smart wearables. This contributes around 25% of the revenue, and appliances जो है, that contributes around 14% of the revenue. Now when I mean by appliances, it is this TVs and sound systems. These contribute around 14% to the revenues. ठीक है? Now one good thing that you are seeing is, अगर आप देखते हो, उनका dependency on mobile phone has been coming down. ठीक है? In FY21-22, that is there, the mobile phone का revenue was contributing around 64%. In FY22 to 23, it was 43%, and then right now in H1 FY24 अगर आप देखते हो it is 43%. So अगर आप देखते हो और ट्रेंड देखते हो 64, 46, 43 right now. So why is this? Why am I stressing on so importantly on this is अगर आप देखते हो वो कोई भी मोबाइल फोन if you're selling, and especially companies like Cellecor which are selling mobile phones at a very low price point, right? आप 700 से start कर रहे हो and goes up to like maximum what 10,000. So these kind of mobile phones have very very low margins. So आप यहाँ पे volume का गेल खेल सकते हो पर वैल्यू भी नहीं होगा और मार्जिन्स भी नहीं सस्टेन होगा. To give you a simple example, these people having mobile as they sell, how do I put this? Here mobile phones for them in their product portfolio is like McDonald's का Happy Meal, या not Happy Meal, sorry, McDonald's का Value Meal. Value Meal में क्या होता है? You attract the customers just so they can enter the restaurant and they can get accustomed to the brand. But also you know इस Value Meal में आपको कुछ margins में तो कोई असर नहीं पड़ेगा, right? They are not margin accretive for you. So similarly here also, as the mobile का revenue keeps coming down, the contribution from the mobile phone, it is better for you. ठीक है, that is one thing. Now let us look at revenue breakup geography wise. ठीक है, अगर आप geography wise देखते हो, उनका majority revenue आता है north of India से. अगर आप north of India से देखते हो 43% का revenue वहां से आता है, फिर south of India से 21% और east India से 17%, west India भी 18%. Export में अगर आप देखते हो, since they have recently started export में it is hardly 1%. ठीक है. Now why? Because export में they are targeting these countries, you know, again something like Bangladesh and GCC countries, that is what they're targeting, but it is a very very small percentage. ठीक है. Why now in the north? Here if you see, why is it the north? Even in the north, if you look at it, the top 3 revenue generating states for them are Uttar Pradesh, Delhi and Haryana. ठीक है. If you look at it, अगर आप FY22-23 में देखते हो, Uttar Pradesh was contributing around 23.3%, 22% was around Delhi, and 17.8% was Haryana. Now, one of the reasons for this, that the fact that, you know, in these states, especially in the states of Uttar Pradesh and Haryana, and the fact that North में उनका इतना सारा revenue आ रहा है, is because if you look at the way that they sell their products, around 90% of the products, not even 90 actually, 96%, FY23 का मैं data बोलूँ तो 96% उनका sale होता है distribution से, direct distribution से. Direct distribution का मतलब क्या है? आप किसी को माल देते हो, वो जाके you know वो बड़ा बड़ा outlet में बेचता है. You would have seen these छोटा छोटा shops that they sell like different SKUs of food, and that person will sell and give you the money, and then the money finally comes to the brand. ठीक है. अगर आप e-commerce में देखते हो, e-commerce में hardly 3% and their own website is hardly 0.1%, something like that. ठीक है. So majority, right, 96% of the revenue even as of now, it is coming from direct distribution. Coming back to the same point that I was telling you earlier, like this is a very very recently started company. Since they've been started, I think it has hardly been 2 years of operation, and right after 2 years or like 1 year of operation, right, like I told you, hardly in FY22-23 में उन्होंने उनका operation start किया था. ठीक है. Just I think that was the time they started the operation, and then they went and just in 2 years of operation setting up the business, these people have come to the IPO. So there is a very very, how do I put you, very there is no history of the company. Forget history of the management. There is no history of company also being operational. Okay, so that is another thing. Now, if you look at their manufacturing, agar aap dekhte ho, they do not have their own manufacturing facility. Okay, they rely on third party manufacturers. They only, what they do is they probably have a design. They get it designed. Basically, they have their design team, they have their engineering team, and they have the patents also. So they go get this done, get the patent, and give this to somebody else, for a third party person to manufacture it, and they sell their products. Okay, so one of the reasons, according to the management, they do not have a third party manufacturer, they do rely on a third party, is because it is both a pro and a con. Pro because let's say if there is any change in terms of this electronic manufacturing में, you know, कोई बदलाव आता है. ठीक है. So then it is easy for them to get accustomed to, like let's say they can just cancel the contract from this manufacturer and move to somebody who already has, let's say, these kind of norms. ठीक है. So that is one thing, that is one where it is a pro for them. Con for them in the sense, like, you know, they are, you know, like I mentioned, since you're a third party, you're always very dependent on them, right? Your supply chain is quite dependent on them. You do not have certain times a lot of control, so this becomes a con for them. So overall, if I have to tell, like, just to sum up, agar aapka business model hai, these people sell their own gadgets under the name Cellecor. These people, you know, have different SKUs unka product mein. zyada se zyada sale mobile se aata hai 43%. Similarly, agar aap revenues bhi dekhte ho, zyada se zyada revenue aate north of India इंडिया से, और यहाँ पे भी उनका almost 96% of the revenue comes from direct distribution, ठीक है. Now let's talk about Q2 FY24 results, ठीक है. अगर आप Q2 FY24 results का देखते हो, you will see that the top line has grown by 85% on a year-on-year basis, ठीक है. It is a huge, of course I do understand the top line is huge, but one of the reasons the top line is huge, like I mentioned earlier, ये तो नया नया कंपनी शुरू हुआ है, बेस ही इतना छोटा है, तो उसमें आप 2 करोड़ से 4 गुना करोगे तो of course 100 करोड़, I mean 100% ही लगेगा ना. So similarly here the revenue has been up 85% year on year. The second thing is, अगर आप PAT भी देखते हो, one good thing is although it is a very new company, it is profitable, ठीक है. ये कोई फंडिंग से नहीं चल रहा है. At least PAT is up 100% on a year on year basis, so there is a good operating leverage. अगर आप PAT margin भी देखते हो, PAT margin is up. Last year 2.9 था, इस साल 3.3 है. Now can you see here PAT margin is hardly 3.3%. Although can you see that the sales has been sky high, right? 85% is no joke for a company to increase. Say what you want. The second thing is even PAT, if you see PAT is also grown. In spite of PAT growing 100% on a year-on-year basis, you see that the PAT margin is hardly 3.3. Why? Coming back to the product portfolio, right? Product portfolio अगर आप देखते हो 43% आ रहे हैं कहाँ से? Mobile phones से, and mobile phones are a very low margin products. If you look at even the con call of Aditya Vision Limited, now what is the difference between, let's say, companies like Aditya Vision Limited and Cellecor Gadgets? Aditya Vision दूसरों का electronics बेचता है अपने दुकान पे, ठीक है. Whereas Cellecor Gadgets sells only theirs. Like Cellecor is a brand and they sell only their product, whereas Aditya Vision sells Cellecor, Samsung, LG, Whirlpool, everything in their dukan. They're just a third party aggregator, whereas Cellecor has their own brand and they sell. Even अगर आप आदित्य विजन को कॉन कॉल में देखते हो ना, it is very, they have clearly told that कि like you will see वहाँ पे आदित्य विजन में they have there are certain quarters where the margins are excellent, okay? You will see a margin expansion happening, and there are certain quarters where the margin is a bit lull. Why? Because in their during summer seasons AC का sale बहुत होता है, ठीक है. Like or before the summer seasons, what you see, AC का sale बहुत होता है, and their AC has high margin. That is why you will see margin expansion. And other quarters that are there, you will see other gadgets like whether it is TVs and mobile phones that are being sold high, TVs, mobile phones and laptop, and these are the products that are extremely low margin. In fact, even in the con call, like they mentioned, like out of all the gadgets, if you see, mobile phone is the worst, because this category has the most like, how do I tell you, low margin profile, and they're not even like it doesn't add anything to the business. So similarly here also, that is the reason you're seeing PAT margin is razor thin, ठीक है. The next thing, अगर आप देखते हो, let me just go through the balance sheet. अगर आप balance sheet में जाके देखते हो ना एक बार, you will see that the company raised आपने like 50 crores from IPO, ठीक है. So all of this 50 crores, now what they are going to do, whatever the cash is generated, it is probably used in the working capital to inventory बढ़ाने के लिए, and to get rid of certain short-term borrowings, ठीक है. So other than that, nothing else, because I understand it is a very small company, and right now they want to like put as much as they want in the in the working capital and the inventory to fund their own growth. But other than that, अगर आप देखते हो उनका जो short term and long term borrowings है, both have rose 2x. अगर आप देखते हो in the last 6 months, if you compare it to the March 23 levels to right now, it the short term and long term borrowings has really taken a fast shoot. But other than that, there is no asset liability mismatch. That is intact. Nothing to compare. Everything is primarily used in this. Now let us look like ये company, what are they projecting, right? All in all, you saw that like great company, there is nothing to be talking about. अगर आप H2 FY24 में देखते हो, outlook देखते हो, right? The management has been guiding, like already in H1 they grew by 85 to 90%. Again in H2 they are targeting to grow by 85 to 90%. So very strong guidance, I would tell, and very something that they're very confident about. And unka jo margins hai right now, the PAT margins is at 3.3% and the EBITDA margins is at 6.3%, and they want to maintain that EBITDA margin at same level only. And the other thing that they're planning to is like, see, even they understand that like mobile phones pe margins badhana is very mushkil hota hai. So what they're planning to do is they want to start a new line, new product portfolio, where they start introducing washing machine, microwave, all these home appliances appliances because यहाँ पे margins ज़्यादा होता है, and they want to reduce the dependency of how do I tell you, revenue coming from mobile phones. So this is what they're mostly planning to do. And अगर वो लोग ये start करते हैं, whether it is microwave and washing machine, they want to put up their own manufacturing facility and do, because it is no longer, if you take the cost advantage, like for example, phone को third party से manufacture करना versus let's say washing machine and microwave, it doesn't add up to them, for them it is not a beneficial thing. So that is what they're planning to do, like set up their own manufacturing facility and do. And here if you see, since their product portfolio, like I told you, right, कि like ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा अगर आप देखते हो तो आता है 700 rupees से, that is what the starting range is. So these people are targeting, it is not the kind of product for like T1 and T2 cities. Their target is for this T3 and T4 cities in the likes of Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, where it is affordable for people. This is where the company is mainly targeting. In fact, to be very honest with you, I didn't even know this brand existed until the IPO came. I literally had to go and like even check in Flipkart, like what is this even legit. So that is the thing. Now let us just see कि like अगर आप देखते हो कि what do I say? Yeah, what are the risks associated? Now we've spoken about all the good things, the guidance is very strong and everything. Let us talk about the risk with this company that is associated with the company. One is, of course, the business has raised in margin. So until and unless we see a significant shift in product portfolio that is happening going forward, right? This continues to be a stress. The other thing is like, agar aap dekhte ho, like I mentioned, there is no prior history about this company, right? Like I told you, it has just been 2 years since the time of operation and they have come into the IPO chunk like that. So that remains the other risk. The another thing is like agar aap dekhte ho, there is intense competition. Aapko jo bhi product portfolio dekhte ho. Now you tell me, even if you go to your own scuttlebutt and see, aapko 700 se 5000 mein itna sara phone milega abhi, right? Phone hoga, TV hoga. Now we are living in a society of abundance, right? Like आप Flipkart में जाओ, 4000 rupees अंदर का एक फोन का फिल्टर लगाओ, आपको Nokia मिलेगा, Xiaomi मिलेगा, so many things. And I'm not even talking about the listed branded players. There is also unlisted or unorganized players also in this segment, right? So of course it becomes very, very tough for them to survive here. The other thing is like most of their since the kind of product that the category that they're catering to, one is unka brand power nahi hai. Second is since the kind of product that they're catering to, they have to do a lot of volume growth, right? Because you can't sell this product to a premium people. Why would someone prefer your product, let's say over Apple or even OnePlus for that matter, right? Agar aap Android mein lete ho, you would prefer a Samsung or a OnePlus. So why would anyone take? So these are the kind of products that are like it is mentioned also, they're targeting for T3 and T4 cities, right? Here what will come? Here you have to play the game of volume. Volume आपका कहाँ से आता है? जितना आप distribution बढ़ाओगे उतना आता है. Here distribution में क्या होगा? In 19-20 यहाँ पे होगा ना distribution में. Again it will impact your sales also. So here is another risk, right? So again, and on top of that, you also know that 96% of the sale is coming from distribution. So probably going forward in the year, distribution se kam, e-commerce se zyada aayega, and probably from their own website also. But having said that, is distribution, if it is not played out well, if it is not in their control, then of course this will come. This can be a double-edged sword. Okay? I mean, the game or the here the entire volume growth comes at how the company executes. The last thing is like the testament is that if you see that less than 1% of the sale is coming from their own website, it also shows कि like उनका brand power भी इतना strong नहीं है, ठीक है? So that is also another thing to note. But having said that, right now they have I think they've signed up this Bollywood actor called Varun Dhawan, and they're really trying hard to establish a brand for themselves, and trying to raise awareness about the brand. Good. But other than that, these are the main risk. So these are the main risk. The positive remains the fact that also the other risk is this is in the SME. How do I tell you? SME company hai, so of course उतना सारा डिस्क्लोजर भी नहीं होगा, राइट? एनीथिंग कैन हैपन. इट इज अ वेरी स्मॉल कंपनी, इलिक्विडिटी हो सकते हैं मार्केट पे. सो डू योर ओन ड्यू डिलिजेंस बिफोर बाइंग और सेलिंग द स्टॉक. द अदर थिंग इज लाइक the of course these are the risk with the business, but having said that, it continues to remain an interesting there are both the pros and cons of the business. My work as an educator is to highlight both. Of course it continues to remain an interesting business proposition, right? Because जो भी बोलो ये company grow करे 85 to 90% पे, and they're telling कि like H1 में हमने 60% से grow किया, and where we will again grow at 85% in H2 also. So overall it is great. The second thing is like market cap is less than 500 crore, right? And the other thing is like 2 साल का operation में only they have done like 264 crores in sales, right? Just in 2 years of operation. So probably the more they expand, the more the volume growth clocks in, the more sales can happen, right? So of course, the only thing is you of course, a lot of people can talk about valuation, but think about this, yeah. A company grow करे 85 to 90%, और वो भी electronics company. On top of that, there is good growth, there is operating leverage. Of course, a company like this will command P, high P, right? So all in all here, if this company going forward, it can only deserve this high PE. It can only sustain this level of valuation if it continues to perform at the same range, right? If it continues to clock in every quarter, let's say the same pace of growth, like I always keep talking about, is 85%, 60 to 80% growth करता रहेगा ना, the PE will also rise from here. But the problem is this: एक भी quarter में इसने एक भी गलती किया, टुक करके वो growth चला जाता है. Similarly, the stock also will come falling down. So here, the same PE becomes a double-edged sword over here. So until and unless a company keeps performing, the market will continue to reward it. The minute it stops performing is the same time the market will punish it. It is similar to, like, let's say Virat Kohli, right? When Virat Kohli was, let's say, 19 years old, 20 years old, nobody knew him. So however he performed, nobody cared. Nobody gave a rat's shit. But right now, you know that Virat Kohli is drawing up a huge salary, and if he doesn't perform right now, what happens? Everybody usko gali galoj karna hi lagega, right? Now, what will happen? Now, every time Virat Kohli goes, because there is a set of expectation that has come to his performance, he has to continue to perform to justify, his salary he draws, or the kind of expectations that we have put up on him. He has to perform. So similarly here also, now the market has seen its performance over the last few quarters and has given it a certain kind of valuation. But right now it becomes the work of the business to continue to perform, for it to again sustain at this valuation. Otherwise, the same thing will happen. The pace of growth will go down, and of course, the valuation also comes into pressure, and then you know what is going to happen, right? So all in all, other than that, if you look at it in terms of demand, just to highlight it at the end of the thing, like I told you, yeah, if you just have to go, everything is good. Top line here, bottom line here, good company metrics. If you look at it, all the metrics, ROE hoga and other things, great, nothing to complain about. If you look at the balance sheet, also great, no asset liability mismatch. Okay, company is investing everything in its growth only, increasing distribution in its working capital, everything. Capex कर रहे हैं, including new product portfolio. जो भी product में भी थोड़ा सा diversification हो रहा है. They're moving away from their mobile phones and introducing new product portfolio. All in all, great. Finally, to highlight, even in terms of demand is also great, because if you look at it, there has been huge tailwinds in the electronic industry, right? Not only that, because यहाँ पे these people are also very positive. Like I told you, right? They want to put up their own manufacturing plant for this microwave and washing machine, that new product line. That is what they're thinking of. One of the reasons they're doing it is because if they put it up, they're going to get how do I put this? The support from the government, whatever the money that they spend in Capex, they're probably going to get it back, either I think via that PLI scheme or other schemes. That is what that is also another thing. Since there is a lot of push even in the environment, Make in India, Atmanirbhar and all this scheme, the demand environment for this company or for this business is also very strong. Now see, everything is going good until now. Q2, what we have seen until now, H1, what we have seen is, all in all, it has been a good story. Now going forward, whether it is Q3, Q4, it all comes down to one thing: execution kaisa karega, right? Agar execution mein 19 piece hoga, then of course there is a problem here, and that is something that we as investors can't do. So all in all, if anything we can do is just continue to track the business and pray to God, probably whatever they do, whatever they claim to do, they continue to do. So having said that, that's it about Cellecor gadgets, and yeah, see you again. Bye.